Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 114 for January 10th, 2024. Yes, it is New Year, and I am Nemesis. And that was Alcatraz you just might have probably heard.
Hello.
Yeah, New Year here. Yep. My holidays were largely uneventful. I just went to my parents' house a couple times because one was Christmas, and then the New Year's Eve one is like, we are making prime rib. You want some? Yes.
If someone offers you prime rib for free, you'd be
Prime
stupid
rib
to turn
and
that
garlic
down.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I went to my brother's house for Christmas, and then New Year's was just home.
I went to my parents' house for a bit, and then I came back home, and then
Home is my parents' house.
and then came back home and was okay, there's New Year. Yep. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
New
but
Year.
anyway, unfortunately, the thing was Japan got a nice start to the New Year.
Yep. 7.4 off the coast of Noto Island.
Yeah, I saw some footage. Like, man,
Yep. Those two, Wajima and Suzu cities, just got hurt. They were the two closest, and
Right.
they got hit hard. Everything in Ishikawa got hurt pretty bad.
looks like the worst of it's pretty much over.
Yeah. Fortunately and unfortunately, Japan has gotten very good at disaster recoveries like this.
They are volcanic island nations.
Yeah, that's why I said fortunately they're very good at this. Unfortunately, it's because they've had to be.
They have to be well.
Yeah, and while this was really bad, it fortunately was no 2011.
And
The
also,
9 point
then of course
something.
followed right up with an airplane landed on another airplane. And
And the sucks about that one was the one that they landed on was a Coast Guard doing aid runs for the earthquake.
yeah, at least none of the passengers on the passenger plane.
Correct.
Were
There was
there's
five,
largely
4 or 5 deaths all on the small
Yeah.
Coast Guard plane. Everyone on the airliner on the 740. No, it was an A350, Airbus
Yeah.
A350. So it's a big 300 some odd passengers. And
saw footage of it. That's just on fire.
yeah, because the small Coast Guard plane
Yeah.
basically just immediately went up in flames, just exploded.
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't worse.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have damaged to the point of causing fatalities on the airliner, which would have taken it from
that
like
and the airport, neither one of
4
those
or
things
5
were-
to hundreds.
Yeah, both those incidents could have been far worse,
Yeah.
but they weren't. And because largely in part because quick thinking by people in charge and whatnot.
Yes, if you're on an airplane and something happens, those attendants know what they're doing. Listen to them. Follow their orders to the letter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real life stuff. Can't really say much. It's tragic, but thankfully it wasn't worse.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just largely I haven't been watching much else other than what we're supposed to be watching this episode because of just time.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess getting into it, we watched, like we said we watched Toradora, which is just funny. I didn't even think about it, but Toradora, which because Tora means tiger and Dora means dragon. No, it's the year of the dragon now, so
It is Year of the Dragon.
I didn't think about it. I was like, ha, good. I actually kind of accidentally
Unintentional. No, what are you talking about? It was totally intentional.
Totally
You
intentional.
totally meant to.
Totally intentional. But so Toradora is a rom-com. And sensibly, just kind of go through a quick summary of it. It's about Taiga Isaka and Ryuji Takasu. They are two high schoolers, and they run into each other, and they try to help each other with their respective crushes, and of course, accidentally, through various shenanigans and whatnot, fall in love with each other. The end.
That's a pretty good summary. That is a pretty good summary.
No meandering along one this time.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a rom-com. It's not like there's any branching storylines to try and deal with.
Well, kind of is, but
Yeah, there is, but nothing like some of the other ones we've watched.
So overall, before we get super into it, it's kind of an odd one because I kind of liked it, but also, man, I had that reaction throughout, particularly towards the end, where just kind of the teenagers.
Yeah.
And it's generally pretty interesting, but because of the fact that the cast is largely teenagers, you get some melodrama.
Yeah.
But
it makes sense.
it's
though, in
largely
context.
enjoyable, but I will say it gets a little ridiculous towards the end.
Yeah. There's a little bit of ridiculousness in the very, very ending. But overall, I actually really enjoyed it. I like this one.
Yeah.
This one was good.
Yeah, because rom-com is going to be made or broken. Make or break was you see, the character the phrase doesn't work if you change the tense.
No.
It's make or break based on the characters, because that's what a rom-com is. You need to have connection to the characters, or else it's just going to fall flat. And it's just two weirdos just making kissy faces at each other, whatever it winds up being,
Which is
dancing
like
around each other's feelings.
most rom-coms that I've seen.
Yeah, but it's just wind up if they're not interesting characters, you're not invested, and you don't care. You're just bored. But yeah, it came out in 2009. Actually started in 2008 and then ended in 2009, so it's pretty old now.
Yep.
It actually came out shortly after we were in high school, so we were only, I guess by that type metric, where it's only slightly older than these characters.
Yep.
Because they're mostly second years in high school, mostly. But yeah, so those are the two big ones. This Taiga there is, well, she's called the palm-sized tiger. The palm-top tiger.
Palm-top tiger.
Yeah, because she's tiny.
She's tiny.
She's very tiny.
And she's
also
not happy about
aggressive and mean sometimes.
Yep.
And Ryuji, he's got a bit of a reputation because he got this just scary face, right? And he's got a bit of a reputation. He's probably delinquent or Yankee, whatever they want to call it. And so he's kind of the dragon. And eventually the two of them meet, and Taiga just hits him.
Yep. Because Taiga doesn't care about his scary face.
Yep. And yeah, they kind of wind up bonding, weirdly enough. It's just a weird thing. They just kind of wind up bonding, particularly when they find out they're neighbors.
Apparently Taiga figures it out first, and that's hilarious. Just waking up in the middle of the night and someone in your house with a sword.
Yeah, because he was trying to write a love letter to one of his friends, Yusaku Kitamura.
Yep.
And of course she screwed that up too. That was the other thing, because she's a klutz as well.
Yep. Put it in the wrong bag.
See, the thing is about Ryuji, he's not actually scary. He's actually kind of, as he even says himself, kind of a bit of a housewife.
Yep.
He's actually a pretty gentle guy he likes cooking. He's also a bit of a neat freak. And so he's very different from what people think he is. And she is actually kind of mean, but also, she's clumsy and...
she's like the definition of tsune.
Yeah, she's a tsundere. In fact, there's a thing where apparently the voice actress for her is well known for doing tsundere characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but she is like the spitting definition of tsune, so she's all rough and sharp on the outside and always angry and hits people, but she has a really soft heart once you get past that.
So the whole thing was, because she screwed up, she gave the love note she was going to give to Kitamura to Ryuji accidentally, because their desks are next to each other. And then she goes to his house to try to, I guess, kill him or something.
to get the note back or prevent him from
and
seeing
then
it.
Him, because he's so embarrassed about it, he basically reveals that he's got a crush on a girl named Minori Kushida, who is actually Taiga's best friend, in fact.
Yep.
And showing how cringy he is about it. And from there, they just decide to help each other with their respective crushes. But the thing is, because they get close, a lot of people just start assuming that they're together, right?
Yep.
And then, the shenanigans ensue and all that stuff. And again, the Minori and Kitamura. You also got, eventually, Ame Kawashima shows up. She's a famous model.
Yeah, apparently one of Kitamura's childhood friends.
Yeah, that as well. And she
which
has
is how they meet.
Kind of this whole airheaded personality. And then Kitamura reveals to Ryuji that, oh no, she is not. That is not who she really is.
Yep.
She's a mean person. Sometimes.
Yep, she can be mean and spiteful.
Selfish, bratty. All these things she pretends she's not.
Yeah.
Because she's afraid of what will happen if people see the real her.
Exactly. So she puts on that airheadedness.
Yep.
To try and,
that way she's
appease
just cute,
people.
Right?
Yep.
So that's kind of like those 5 are more or less the main cast.
Yep. That's your group. That's your main group, and all the stories kind of revolve around those 5.
Yeah, although there are others who'll show up and do things that are important as well. But yeah, those are the 5 main ones. Yeah, Kitamura is a very loud and boisterous but responsible person.
Right. Also, it's interesting. At certain times, Kitamura seems rather observant.
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes he's also not.
Except when of course the plot demands he can't be observant this time.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like, someone could see all this stuff, all these relationship things going around them, but they can't see the one that's like right
in front of them. Yeah. That's such a common trope. Except that's not true for him because he does know about Taiga.
Kind of.
I mean, yeah, because that's weird. The whole right near the beginning, the first few episodes, when Taiga actually confesses to Kitamura, that happens really quickly, and Kitamura basically has the impression of, I know, but we tried. I sort of. I know.
Because he had a crush on her at one point, and then
that's a weird one because apparently, and that's what caused Taiga to notice
teenagers.
him. Yeah. Kitamura has a thing for confident women.
A particular one, actually.
Yes, I saw that one happening, and then when they confirmed it later on, it's like, called it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kitamura first had a thing for Taiga because Taiga walked in with this air of confidence, and then confessed to her, and she turned him down, but that made her notice him, and over time kind of got a crush on him. But then the confession happened.
At that point, he was already kind of over her.
Yep, and
he's interested in someone else.
Yep, and Kitamura knew that, and when Taiga gave her the confession, it was basically like, yeah, I know, but no, we'll just be friends.
I think.
Yeah, so it's like he was aware, and he does seem to be aware of things, but not all the time.
Minori, she's a goofball.
Oh man, Minori.
She's a goofball. She's also very sporty. She plays softball, and she's really good at it.
Yep.
There's a whole thing where she becomes incredibly frustrating at the very end too.
Because teenager, yeah,
she's so frustrating at the very end.
Yeah,
but yeah, she, and that's the girl that Ryuji has a crush on, and he's
red hair
had a thing for her, since middle school, and she's just
very bubbly, Genki character.
And like also
way to describe her.
She likes to put on this like almost this persona of kind of like blissfully ignorant, but also no, she's actually super observant as well.
Mm-hmm.
Figures things out, and she knows a lot of things going on, but of course she puts a lot of other people ahead of her as well.
Yep, that's her biggest thing, and I was catching that pretty early when watching her. It's like she's really active and boisterous and energetic, and it's like, this is a mask, isn't it? You're energetic and always doing things not because you want to, but because it keeps you from doing something else, huh?
Well, kind of. Some of it really is just her.
Yeah, a lot of it does turn out to be just her. But
I wouldn't say the mask wasn't really there till like the last third or so.
Yeah.
After Christmas.
Because there was
Christmas.
There was hints of it in Summer at the Beach episode.
Somewhat, but
that's when it really started to see like But yeah. She's definitely an interesting thing.
Another thing, the other girl that Kitamura gets a crush on is actually Sumire Kano. She's the student council president.
Yep.
And she's a very tough lady, but also a little forgetful. And the thing with her was she was actually going to America to study abroad and everything, and she was denying her feelings for Kitamura because she didn't want him following her, and then he followed her anyway. That took a while.
Yep.
He had this whole rebellious thing going on, and it's like one of those weird things. Like, you're not good at being rebellious, are you?
No, not really. He's always been the good kid, the good studious one.
Yeah.
They don't really know how to be rebellious. Yeah, it's like through the textbouth versions. It's like that doesn't really work though.
Especially you.
Especially for you.
Yeah, but Ryuji, the one thing about him, his housewife thing. He cooks, he cleans. Part of it is because of his mother, Yasuko. He calls her by name, which is interesting in and of itself. There's a weird disconnect there. It's like there's a lot you can unpack with Ryuji and his parents.
Oh yeah, especially with what they reveal near the end.
Mm-hmm. Yasuko is like she's a hostess at a hostess club, and she's also relatively young. It's implied she had Ryuji pretty young, like as she was a teenager. So like she's probably like at best in her early 30s. So there's that. The thing is, he winds up doing a lot of stuff to take care of her, including cooking all the meals and all that stuff. Where she's like often because she works late, she's often asleep during most of the day and whatnot. she comes across as incredibly irresponsible, but then we also see flashes of no, she's actually somewhat of a decent parent sometimes. So there's a complicated situation there. Part of the problem is just simply Ryuji's never met his dad.
Yep.
And but he also you can see he has got some baggage regarding his dad.
He does
in general, just between because the whole thing is like he resents him for various reasons, but also he really wants to meet him. Is that whole thing?
Yep.
Because like one of the things his dad, it looks like his dad was like Yakuza or something. Probably.
Potentially, it's hinted at but never confirmed.
Yeah, and so that's where he got his kind of more fierce looking, scary face.
Yep.
Was from his dad, and in which way we find out his dad bailed out when his mom got pregnant, and she's never met him, and he has a picture of him, but the thing is his mom keeps talking about him like he's a great dude or something.
Right.
She's speaking highly of him, and it's just incredible frustration on his part. On one hand, he resents him and doesn't like him, he just abandoned him and everything, but on the other hand, it's like we see there's one point where this points pushing his issues on the Taiga in a little bit. He would do anything to be able to spend a day with his dad.
Yep.
So that's a fun time right there, because that winds up blowing up because Taiga and her parents have a complicated relationship as well.
Yes, they do.
Because her parents are divorced. Her dad wound up meeting a younger woman and marrying her, and Taiga and this woman didn't get along. I believe her name was I can't remember what her name was, but
it's not important.
Doesn't matter.
She never appears.
She appears. Yeah. So they don't get along. So what happens is she moves out of her parents' house, her dad's house, and he just basically pays, gives her a monthly stipend to pay for rent and all that stuff. And she lives in the apartment next to Ryuji's house. And then he shows it back up in her life. And like, at first she's like, no, go away. I don't even want to deal with you. She just sees him more or less as her ATM.
Yeah.
And like, he's trying to get his way back into his lower life, and Ryuji's like, you need to let him back in, because his whole thing about his dad, doesn't really, I don't think he fully understands himself anyway.
Yeah.
But he's trying pushing her to let him back in. She does, and then it turns out, okay, guess what? He's a flaky douchebag, and he bailed out on her again.
Yeah.
Apparently this all happened before, and Minori knew about this because she did the exact same thing a year prior.
Yep.
Apparently this happens frequently. Your dad comes back into life, tries to weasel her back in, all apologetic, I just want to be with my daughter, blah, blah, and then he just bails out on her again. Meanwhile, her mother she shows up later, but like...
in the end sequence.
There's a whole thing where she got remarried and had another kid, or she's pregnant even at that point, and she just feels like she doesn't fit in. We don't really know a whole bunch about the mom, other than she was understandably a bit upset with Taiga at the time because things were happening.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you can understand why she was upset, but also, you can kind of, there's the message she left on Taiga's phone, which is like, kind of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
The mother's not exactly... I don't want to say I just want to say stable, but she's not exactly great.
We don't get a whole lot about her other than just Tiger for whatever. Just won't get along with her. We don't get a whole lot about the mom.
Yeah. So
that's interesting on its own right. Just that whole parent dynamic. Yeah, it's just that's one aspect of that happens. Is that's actually a fairly significant arc right there. It's just Tiger and her dad.
It is,
which also gave us insight of Ryuji and his dad.
Yeah, that was a painful arc. There was a number of sub arcs that were rather painful to watch, and not in that they were bad arcs, but that hurts. That hurts to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, like one thing, I would say it's weird. This anime is kind of odd in that like the first 2/3 are pretty much kind of like straightforward rom-com for the most part. They had a good balance of the drama and the comedy and all that stuff. And then the last third goes really hard in the drama stuff, and the comedy stuff is kind of barely there anymore.
Right.
It's really weird. It's kind of jarring almost. Because once you basically get to I think it's about actually episode 17, bam. Basically right after the student council president leaves for America, it's like the drama just cranks way up.
Yeah, because once that happens, because it
They also had that thing with like Taiga and Sumire there actually physically fought each other. This wasn't like just a couple slaps, or there was actual like brawl. They had to be pulled away from each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole one. Because I think the reason why things shift at that point, because that's the point.
That's a turning point.
It is a turning point because it reveals to the group the cracks in the group.
Mm-hmm.
The initial cracks. Not all of them have been revealed yet, but it starts to show things to that's when they start to see
the bits everyone's keeping hidden.
Yep.
And also it's a mark because the next episode is a new OP.
Yep, you can kind of think of it almost like a season 1, season 2 thing, but it
marks the change. And like Ami is the weird thing. So like again, she's incredibly perceptive and she's kind of trying to help people, but in a really
in her own way. Yeah, in her own way.
In a really kind of horrible way that doesn't actually, it's like it's kind of a mean-spirited way of helping almost. That's because she's got her own baggage as well, because it turns out everyone here has baggage.
Yay, it's almost like real life.
Like her whole thing is like she, all her relationships are kind of shallow and like
that's common for models.
And like there's a whole thing too, everyone's you're so mature, except for Yuji's the first one who goes, you're like a child.
Yep.
He's like, oh. And then for her, at first she's all like aloof and distant, then oh no. Feelings. Genuine feelings, including genuine friendship and genuine crush.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder on who. Ryuji.
Fortunately, Ami's she understands the limits on that one, and she doesn't let that one go too far.
Also, Ryuji's kind of dumb.
he is kind of dumb. He's a teenage boy. What do you expect?
The teenagers are all dumb.
They're all they're all dumb. Ami's.
I'm not actually 100.
The most, it's a relative term, but she's probably the most mature.
Yeah,
it's a relative term.
She get pretty upset with you on that,
right? But except it's come up during that. She is more mature because she had to be. She was forced to be because of her role as a model, role model.
Yeah.
She has to interact with adults all the time, so she has to learn how to have that maturity.
Yeah.
She doesn't have all of it, obviously. She's still a teenager. But she is the most mature in that part of the thing. Yeah. So I guess it kind of helps her see some things.
The way things actually played out, I'm actually not 100% certain Ryuji actually figured out she had a crush on him or not.
I don't think he did.
It's kind of like...
I don't think he did. He had way too... At that point...
Yeah, but I'm just like, did he figure it out or not? 'Cause she made it pretty obvious by the end there.
Right. But it wasn't really obvious to other people until the end, and he had a lot other things on his mind.
At the end, she pretty much more or less blatantly told him to his face without actually saying it. It's like, at this point, if he doesn't get it.
Yeah, but also at that point, he is...
Because they made it
super
vague.
tunnel vision.
I know, but they kind of made it vague whether or not he got it or not.
Yeah. He may have, but also, it wouldn't have mattered at that point. He was... Yeah.
And then Minori. God, she kind of became really frustrating to deal with towards the end. I'm like, oh my God, you selfish hypocrite. like they're all being hypocritical at some point, but she was so hypocritical. It kind of got a little frustrating because it was so jarring. Just going from, she'd go from meddling and trying to force other, it's like the whole thing of like she's sacrificing her happiness for other people, and then turning around saying, don't try to make me happy. I'll make my own happiness. It's like, because she actually had a crush on Ryuji for a while too.
Yeah.
But then when Taiga showed up and in his life, she just kind of bailed out on that almost immediately. Because, I want Taiga to be happy.
Yep. But Taiga's not going to do anything because...
Yeah. Well, she had a thing for Kitamura for a long time too. And then she had her slow realization.
Well, she had a thing for Ryuji. She just didn't realize it for a while.
Yeah.
But it turned into this whole thing of they're both sacrificing themselves for each other.
And then getting upset with the other for sacrificing
and
themselves.
And then getting upset with each other. Yeah. Yeah. Which is just like teenagers.
I will say it kind of got a little ridiculous with the mountain trip. It's like, oh, come on.
The ski trip?
The ski trip, yeah, and then the whole, Taiga's out lost in the snow and the blizzard and everything's pretty much fine. It's like, she'd be dead.
For that many hours lying? Well, maybe.
Not necessarily dead, but she'd be in a lot worse condition. Oh, she needs a bandage on her head.
Yeah.
She'd be a lot worse than that. She's in a hospital right now being treated for all sorts of things like, hypothermia and whatnot.
Potential hypothermia. Yeah.
Especially, it's like laying face down in the snow like that for hours.
She was well bundled.
Yeah, but still face down.
But yeah.
It wouldn't be good for her.
If it was a bad enough impact on her head to knock her out for that long, yeah, that was a bit of a thing. But
yeah, it's like, yeah, good.
Overall, it's kind of minor.
Drama
but it's,
silliness.
Yeah,
it's like it's like, oh, sometimes I was like, oh, come on, you didn't have to go that far, guys, to make it dramatic.
Yeah,
You could have backed off a little bit and still kept a good level of drama.
You know what I think it is that they were really focused on the scene with Ryuji and Taiga going back.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that's what the focus was. Like, we need this we need this scene. We have to somehow get here.
Ryuji finds out about she's got a thing for him at that point. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
because he has to confront. Okay, how does he feel about everything?
Yep.
How about her?
Yep.
Because he's been chasing for Minori for so long. At this point, Minori's already shot him down, but he's also getting that hope of like, no, because like Taiga no, she likes you.
Yeah.
And so he's got that hope. But now so what do I do?
What do I do?
And then do a really dumb teenage thing. We're just going to elope.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. That whole thing after all that. They finally, they go from, we're not dating, oh crap, we like each other, let's go elope. Within like 1 or 2 episodes. It's like, wow, that went really
Teenagers.
fast. Although, there's also the whole, they realize that they've actually liked each other this whole time, so they've practically been dating for months anyway.
That's the thing about it. That's one of those things.
I guess we have been dating, so it's not really that quick.
Yeah, going from like friendship to dating is like, you can skip a lot of the garbage that comes with dating.
You actually just hit on something that I wanted to mention. There's this, it's just common like romance tropes and things like that, and you get the whole starstruck lovers, or they see each other and love at first sight, or when they go and date, they go and look for people with the purpose of dating. They just meet them and they're looking to date someone.
Right.
But then we have this alternate of dating your friends.
Yeah.
It seems like those are 2 completely different worlds, but this one's like kind of pointing more to the date your friends.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of like that concept, because you start off with it. You don't go into it looking for someone to date. It just happens.
Yeah.
And you're just friends, and you realize, I guess we're more now.
Yeah. And also on top of that, the Japanese attitude towards dating is very different from the American attitude towards dating.
Yes.
And that kind of can be a bit of a thing to have to translate over.
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting.
Wish I would see more of that, because it's treated really weird.
Yeah. The one interesting thing too is just towards the end there, when they're kind of doing their weird little mock wedding, and they kiss.
They do
again and again and again,
kiss.
which is that's kind of unusual for Japanese. I think for relief for anime is like, because intimacy is kind of scary in that culture in Japanese. From everything I picked up, that sort of intimacy is like,
at least you don't show it.
So like the fact that it's kissing again and again and again like that, it's like, oh dang, it's actually a really good scene.
It is a really good scene.
And everything, it's just and then they try to elope, and then weirdly enough, Ryuji's mom runs away.
Yeah, because the whole thing with the elope is they realize it, but at the same time, right after they realize it, it's kind of tied in with the fact that their mothers are freaking out about things, and they're like, they'll never let this happen, so we have to run away and elope if we actually want to be together.
Yeah, Ryuji says some things to his mom. I mean, things that have clearly been kind of boiling for a while.
Yep, because Ryuji's mom's in this whole, you need to go to college.
Yeah, because
and I'm going to basically, once again, this whole self-sacrifice for someone else seems to be a common thread.
Yep.
Although it's a common thread all over the place, not just here. But yeah, and it kind of gets to that whole boiling point with,
if she gets sick.
Don't. Yeah, but also the don't make decisions for me, or accuse her of basically living vicariously through him, sort of. It's weird, but yeah, and there's the whole fight there.
And yeah, she gets all crying, and then she runs away, and then then eventually Taiga and Ryuji's like, oh my god, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah, because that was one thing, because they go back home to grab stuff before they go and run away, and that's when Ryuji finds a note instead of his mom, a note by his mom with a watch and the address of his
And
grandparents.
say, give them this watch, they'll know who you are.
Yeah, because apparently, I'm assuming that means they've never met before.
Yeah, because what happened was she ran away from, she basically, they more or less say she ran away from home and she took stuff with her to sell so she, make money to live off of, because basically by her plan was run away with the Yakuza guy.
To elope, basically what they were just about to do.
And that fell through when she got pregnant and he ran away from her. So she's stuck, and so can't go back home because that's awkward.
That's awkward.
So yeah, but it's just still had to watch. In fact, at one point she gave it to him for the Christmas party.
Yeah.
To wear and so yep. Hey, grandma and grandpa.
Yep.
I'm your grandson.
Yeah, because originally they were gonna elope and use Ami's beach house, Ami's parents' beach house.
Yes.
But
and
then on the train,
Minori even was giving them money to help them out. I was like, I don't really actually agree with what you're doing, but I'm not going to stand by and watch you, completely screw it up.
Yeah, but then I believe it's implied that they had a conversation, that Taiga and Ryuji had the conversation on the train as they were leaving.
Yeah.
Ryuji would go, hey, instead of going there.
Yeah, they had that realization of, oh God, this is just a terrible idea, isn't it?
Yep.
They had that sobering moment.
Yep.
And then go to my grandparents' house, and then they decide to fake, what was it? An emergency.
Yeah, they fake.
So that she'd come running back and, surprise, gotcha. Now now make up with your parents.
Yep, they faked Ryuji getting into a major accident.
Yeah. Made that work out. Taiga unfortunately still has to go to another school because of her mom.
Yeah.
Mom pretty seems to be
Oh God, that whole thing. That's probably the one that got me the most in confusion.
Yeah.
What happened with Taiga at the very end?
Yeah, going to a different school now.
Just suddenly she leaves.
Yeah. I think, she's living with her mom, and that's part of it.
That's the implication, is that she had some realization when going through the phone messages and just God, that would suck.
That's another thing, because when Taiga got sick over at one point, she actually was
because her mom came over to take care of her.
She wanted to do that, and she wanted to spend time with her mom. It sounds like she actually genuinely enjoyed herself. So that's why I'm thinking the mom is probably actually a decent mother. Just at one point she was pretty upset because her things are just wild, and her child ran away, and she's trying. Listen, don't screw up, kid. Trying to, and then the kind of the desperate, the anger covering up the sadness.
There may also be a bit of, you remind me of him.
Yeah, so
you're his kid,
thing, but
so there's a little bit of baggage tied on that.
Regardless, it sounds
too.
like, okay, yeah, no, you're not living by yourself anymore, particularly since you're next to this boy you clearly like, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're about to elope with him. I don't know what you'll do.
Yeah. But yeah, how she just up and left.
Yep.
God, that would suck.
Yeah, well, she came back.
Eventually, yes.
They graduated.
When they graduated, she came back.
Yeah, and they even did a callback to how they first met in the first
in the locker
episode.
The one locker in the back of the room.
Yeah, the locker,
yep. Yep.
Headbutts him again.
Yeah. It's just, oh man.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of that stuff there. It's like, yeah, again, it gets a little, like I said, it gets a bit melodramatic and a little over the top at the end, but it's still enjoyable. And you're like, they're stupid teenagers. Of course it's going to get like this.
I really like this, although for me, I do have a bit of a soft spot for certain emotional drama.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just do. It's like, the Christmas episode.
Yeah. Oh.
The Christmas episode, the tree, the star.
Yeah, the tree, the star, Minori.
Oh.
Minori feeling additional guilt because she felt guilty over having a crush on Ryuji.
And that was also when she not dumped him.
She basically went, no. She just headed him off.
Prevented the confession.
In a weird, vague way.
Yeah.
And he's like, did I just get shot down? I don't know if I did or not. Did I? I'm confused.
Yeah.
I think I got shot down. It feels like I got shot down, but did I?
Yeah, but
understandable. She's being incredibly vague about it.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like actually talking about those kind of feelings.
Yep.
There's also, I like the funny bit where she's working at the restaurant, and she says, whatever you do, and they don't ask for a long noodle, and all three of them immediately ask for a long noodle, and then she pokes their eyes. Cause, like,
Look, it was, don't ask for long noodles or I'll poke your eyes out. They all do it, so they all get their eyes poked.
It's like, yeah, okay, did the bit. Everyone committed to the bit.
Yep. Sometimes that's just what you got to do.
There's a couple other characters. I guess Inko-chan.
The bird.
The bird. Don't worry, it's just a little broken.
It's just a little broken, but it's fine. Daijoubu.
Just a little drooly. That's a weird bird. Of course, there's also one point that the subtitles definitely used a little ableist slur.
Oh.
It's unfortunate. That's kind of the signs of the times.
Yeah, especially
Like
in 2008, 2009, yeah.
One character I just like, she's such a cliche, but like I still kind of, Yuri, Koiga Kubo. She's a teacher.
Poor teacher.
The teacher, of course, the classic
teacher
approaching 30. Oh no, I still don't have a husband. And then she hits 30 and just despair.
Yeah.
And now she's signed up for a real estate seminar for single women.
And it burns down.
And she's got
condo burns down.
But also like her just kind of having just the very much the attitude when they're complaining about we wanted to go to the beach because they're supposed to go to the Okinawa for the beach, and then they wound up going because the hotel burned down, and then she just writes very angrily, "You don't always get what you want."
Yeah.
I like her and I feel sad for her, and it's like she deserves love.
She deserves better. That poor teacher, she's great.
Yeah. She's a bit of a cliche. It's such a common thing of the single teacher who's just cannot seem to get a husband no matter what she does. And she's just despairing over the fact of her lack of husband is basically married to the job, blah, 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 etc. Yeah, I just like her too, but yeah.
It's a common trope, but they played it well.
Yep.
Yeah. That's actually that's sort of a bit of a theme that I noticed. It's a rom-com. There are certain rom-com tropes that often show up in stuff like this. But one thing I noticed is while they kind of touched on a lot of them, they didn't do it in ways that are like super annoying. Like there's certain tropes like, oh, the guy always quote unquote screws up and has no idea what he does and gets, yelled at or in trouble with the girls.
Right.
They don't really do it the same way. Like he does, but not like super seriously, and often there was like the whole thing with Taiga's dad. He screws up, but he has no idea. Obviously, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on with Taiga's dad. No one tells him. But so often in rom-coms, what happens is like, oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know. No one tells him, but they all just kind of gang up on him and whatnot because it's funny.
Yeah, Minori gets mad at him, but then it's like she doesn't explain herself very well initially, and then she does explain herself. And then they're both now mad at each other because he's like, no, she's gonna get hurt, and he's like, she needs to.
Right, but no one actually tells Ryuji why until after things are resolved, and then they go, yeah, we went overboard. You didn't know, you didn't deserve that. They dealt with this.
Yeah.
So and then similar things happen with all those really tropey things in rom-com. They touch on them, but then actually, do them right and don't go just kind of stupid with a lot of them. And I kind of like that.
Yeah. I did kind of poke my head into the fanfic world a little bit on this one just out of curiosity. Or I found at least one
a habit of doing
Polly
that.
solves everything fic.
Oh God. Yeah, that was like, so Minori and Taiga both like Ryuji.
Yeah.
Well, this is sort of what polyamory fixes.
Yeah, I already found one that was like basically the Polly solves everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw one that someone's like, yeah, this is kind of deranged, but you can't stop me, which is they put Yasuko and Yuri together because they're both 30-ish single women. Why not? I think it was basically Yuri just winds up stumbling to Yasuko's, the hostess club Yasuko works at, and goes, what am I doing here? And then weird, funny feelings happen.
I was thinking there's a couple really minor ones that, for a prolific shipper and fanfic writer could easily work off of. Especially one off comment from Minori during the beach episode.
Am I into girls?
Am I into girls?
Because she's thinking about Taiga.
Right, well, there's Taiga, but there's Ami.
Yeah. Oh, this is one person I saw. They're like writing tons of Ami and Minori fics. Like, holy
There's a couple points with how they get how they work together sometimes, yeah, you could totally get those two together.
Yeah, well, again, they had their own little fight too.
They did, but since when does that stop the shipper? That's fuel for shipping.
Slap.
Yeah, that's fuel for shipping.
And then Ryuji, and then after it's all broken, hey, where's Taiga? And then we get the whole thing there.
Or the time Taiga got slapped by Hami, but that was a bit different.
Yeah, that was a bit different, yeah.
That was walking in on her in the shower.
Yep.
Oh, again, that's one of those tropes that they poke at, but then don't do it the stupid way.
She's teasing him. And and then, did you think I was actually showering?
Exactly. And he doesn't get in trouble. Like so many times you get those things where they set up for he's a pervert, even though he just made it wasn't his fault. They start to and then don't do it.
It's too stupid to know, because that's happened a lot too.
Yeah.
I remember complaining about that with Index.
Oh, God. Index does it so often.
It's like, why have you not learned to knock?
I don't think it would matter. I don't think it would matter, because I've seen how they do it even when he does knock. Knocks, weird noise. Oh God, something's happening. They're hurt. Opens the door.
You
thing happens. Your pervert gets slapped in the face.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. It's those rom-com tropes that I'm talking about. They kind of poke at them and then don't do them.
The anime version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, they didn't fall into any harem nonsense, despite the fact 3 women like this guy.
Yes, that's another good one. It's no BS harem.
Yeah, and also the characters are just really fun. I like the characters. I even like a lot of the side characters. They're just fun characters overall.
Yeah.
Like Koiji, the weird guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
He's just a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
And he gets a girlfriend, and we're like, you got a girlfriend?
Out of the blue.
How did you do that? And because at first it's like, is she your older sister or something?
Yeah,
No.
that was the Valentine's arc. Because they're out selling chocolates.
Yeah, so it's 25 episodes, plus there's the OVA, which my guess looking at the OVA takes place right after the student council president leaves.
Yeah, something about that. They use
it's a weird little OVA where Ryuji gets in weird competition with Kitamura's grandma,
who's not even there.
Yeah, because over bentos of all things. And then
it's because Ryuji's a housewife.
Yeah, because his pride is on the line here.
I have to make the best bento.
But then he finally realizes the reason is because Kitamura's grandma keeps making the bento that she realizes he needs to have.
That Kitamura.
And that's the whole thing there, because he gets to the point where he's trying to put a rice cooker in the classroom.
Like, no, you can't do that.
And everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's interesting. They use the OP and ED from the first half, but there's hints throughout, like especially near the ending of the OVA, how they treat Taiga and Ryuji and how those two act. It's like, this seems more like they know more things, because the OVA was made after the series. It's
most of the OVA was like the way everything is. You still have, because she's Taiga's still kind of a little blushy over Kitamura and everything.
Yeah,
but I think that the OVA had a bit of a time skip for the end bit of the OVA, because like all of a sudden we're jumping to like bit in the future possibly, and there's Taiga and Ryuji seem to be more.
Yeah,
I feel like that's probably what happened. It was just mostly OVAs, like this one spot, just to give context for this little scene they wanted to do.
Yep. Yeah. Like the ending photo where they're pushing them together.
Yep.
Never would have happened until near the end of the series.
Also, that was the other thing, was they did a beach episode and they didn't get all creepy and pervy about it.
Yeah. There's like no fan service. This is not fan servicey at all, and it's great.
Yeah. It's nice.
It
actually is nice. I will say I will feel like the end I'll personally feel the end got a little ridiculous, but it's kind of like, oh, you're kind of pushing it now. Come on, back down. But okay.
Yeah,
that was me personally, but
yeah, I think a full sum up of it. It's a really good rom-com that knows the tropes and knows how to do them right without getting stupid, but while also knowing how to be fun and light. I would say knows how to be deeper and more emotional.
Yeah, mostly. And I feel like towards the end they got a little
maybe a little bit much,
a little ridiculous.
But yeah,
like I feel like they pulled it out in the end. They stuck the landing, but they kind of got a little
weird before. Things got a little bit shaky before they landed.
They got like, oh god, are you just thinking weird? I kind of come on, guys, and then okay, but it's like I'm also giving a fair pass because the characters are teenagers and
yeah, like a gymnast who almost doesn't stick the landing, but
they
does.
stumble it.
You see that shake, but they don't fall, and they're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They stuck the landing, though.
Yeah.
So it's really good. I think that's really it, unless we want to get into nitty-gritty stuff, which it's a rom-com.
Yeah, there's not that much nitty-gritty in there.
There's not real time to, I don't feel like that we should be bothering to get that deep into things. It's just a fun time, and the fun characters are generally fun, and it's just well written.
Yeah.
Overall.
It is.
Mostly.
It is.
Again, for me personally, mostly. Just there's a couple stumbles here and there. But.
Yeah. I really liked it.
I did too, but I will just say there was definitely stumbles.
Yeah.
But overall, I almost forgot who actually did this one. Oh, JC Staff. Okay.
Who?
JC Staff.
Oh, that's a name I know.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of stuff.
I suppose that's it for this one.
I suppose.
Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you can check out other episodes. New to Weeaboo.libsyn.com is spelled Libsyn. New episodes will be on up there as they come out. You can also check out, again, old episodes down there. You can just subscribe to the RSS feed and do all that stuff. You could also find us on, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and Amazon Podcasts, and most of those are at the top of the Libsyn site. You can just click there. You can just go on those and search for New to Weeaboo and subscribe via that way. However you want to do it, you can keep up with us and all that stuff. We try to do some degree of variety here. Sometimes, though, we just kind of get caught on, hey, look, gay. If you want to contact us, you can do so via email, newtoweeboo@gmail.com. You can, questions or comments or criticisms or anime suggestions or what have you. If you want to do it through that way, you can also follow our various social medias. You can find it all at newtoweeboo.libsyn.com/contact. All of it will be listed there. And you can also find our personal stuff through those. It's pretty easy. Most of it's going to be linked on the profile somewhere anyway. So that's it for our first 2024 episode. I think it's a good way to start the year with a nice, good, solid anime.
Yep.
Next time we're doing more romance stuff because we're talking about I'm in love with the villainess.
Oh boy.
Like I say about, hey, look, the gay.
The gay.
We're finding the gay again. Because I really like this one.
Yeah, I need to finish. I hadn't finished it, so I guess I will now.
Yes, you will now. You have to now.
I have to.
You have no choice.
I must. I have no choice. It is forced.
It is forced on you. So
you're forcing the gay agenda on me.
Oh no.
I signed up for this, so I knew what I was in for.
I'll make those freaking frogs gay. So yeah, that's it for this one. Again, hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good new year. Hope this year goes well for you, and we'll see you next time. So goodbye.
Bye.